Hey everyone, it's Melanie here, and in this video I'm going to give you all the details on how to ride a scooter for the very first time. Now, this video will include how to rent a scooter, the basic controls, and what it's like driving in traffic. So before we get started, please hit the like button, remember to comment if you have any questions, and hit subscribe to see more videos from me. Alright, let's get to it. Now the first thing you want to do is rent out a scooter. I'm currently in Bali, Indonesia, where there are plenty of scooter rental shops nearby. You can just ask around or do a Google Map search for scooter rental shops around you. I was able to rent out a scooter from my accommodation. My scooter is the Honda Beat, and I'm staying long-term in Bali, so I paid the monthly price of 700,000 Indonesian rupiah per month, which is about $50 per month. In most cases, the longer the rental period, the cheaper it will be. After shopping around, 700,000 Indonesian rupiah or $50 per month seem to be the average price to rent out a regular scooter. When renting out a scooter, it should also come with a helmet. Now, the helmets given to you from most scooter rental shops aren't the most safe, I would say. They don't typically give you the full face coverage that you might want. A lot of accidents happen. So I actually recommend purchasing a full face coverage helmet like this one. I got this one at a helmet shop, and it cost me 800,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is equivalent to around $56. I paid a little extra for this helmet because of the sparkles, as you can see, and I love how it shines under the sun. So you can actually get a more basic helmet for about, let's say, 400 to 700,000 Indonesian rupiah, so like 30 to 40 US dollars. So when renting out a scooter, there are a few things that I recommend you check. The first thing I like to check is the height of the scooter. So when I'm sitting down, I need to make sure that my feet are able to touch the ground. After that, I just like to get a feel of the weight of the scooter, see where the center point is and where the tipping point is, and feel the weight there. Also, I recommend that you check the indicator lights and the headlights and make sure that the brakes are working properly on the scooter. Next, check the tread on the tires and make sure it isn't bald. Do a full check on the condition of your motorbike and note all the areas where there are dents and scratches. To be safe, take images and a close-up video of the scooter. This way, if there are any issues when you return it, you'll have proof that the damage was done prior to you renting this scooter. When renting out a scooter, make sure that you have the proper registration documents with them. If you plan on exploring other islands or taking ferries, you may be asked to show these documents, and if you don't have them, you can be denied access. If you're a foreigner and you plan to ride a scooter in another country, I recommend that you get the International Driver's Permit. Now, the International Driver's Permit is basically a translation of your driver's license in different languages, which allows you to legally operate a vehicle in another country. Now, make sure when you have this with you that you accompany it with your driver's license, because if they are not paired together, they are pretty much useless. So make sure you have your International Driver's Permit and your driver's license with you when you ride your scooter. Now, you can get this anywhere in the US at any AAA office, and the price is only $20. And the process is fairly simple and quick. All they need is 2 passport-sized photos, so they can put one on the booklet over here. Now, these International Driving Permit is good for 1 year from the date of issue, and I highly recommend it because if you get in an accident, you actually might not have your insurance covered. And also, when you're driving around another country, you may be stopped by the cops, and if you do not have this permit, they can either fine you or they won't allow you to operate the scooter in the country. And now let's go over the basic controls of a scooter. So let's begin with the left side of the scooter. Over here is your left brake, and that controls the rear wheel of your scooter. And over here are your headlights, and this is your low beam and your high beam. So it's automatically default set to your low beam. Over here is your horn, and that will work if the bike is on. And on the bottom left is your indicator lights. So you have the left and the right, and you control that with your left thumb. And these don't turn off automatically, so you're gonna have to push the button to turn off the indicator lights. Moving along to the right side is the right brake, and this is a more powerful brake as it controls the front wheel of your scooter. And over here is your throttle, so you're gonna pull towards you to accelerate and move forward with the scooter. Over here is your ignition switch to turn the scooter on. To open the seat trunk, you're going to want to insert your key and put it in the seat position there, and then press seat button right over here. And once you hear a pop, that means that your seat is opened. Go ahead and open that, and this is where I like to keep my international driving permit, my original registration documents, and right over here is where you can fill in the gas for your scooter. If you want to close it, put the seat down, press firmly on it, and check to make sure that your seat is locked. Before you drive in traffic, make sure to adjust your left and right side mirrors so you can see what's going on behind you. Also, make sure that you have enough gas in your tank. As a beginner, it's a good habit to have your left fingers rested on the left brake just in case you need to brake immediately. On the right side, avoid having your right hand grip overly wrapped around the accelerator. It's highly likely that you will pull it all the way, put too much gas, and lose control. Over here on the bottom left is your kickstand, and on the bottom right is the exhaust. It's covered with protection over here. Just make sure that you don't touch this part over here after you ride your scooter, or else you can get burned. Over here I have this phone mount which I added to my bike, and I purchased this from a local automotive shop for 90,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is equivalent to $6.30. I love having it. I use it for navigating around the island. Just make sure when you have it that you keep an eye on it and make sure no one grabs your phone off the mount when you're driving. Also, another option for navigation that people like to do is that they wear their earphones and listen to Bluetooth directions that way. Some people just like to leave their phone in the cup holder for navigation. I don't recommend that because it's really easy to get that stolen, and it's really easy to forget your phone in the cup holder when you walk away from your bike. And with that said, whenever you leave your bike, always make sure to get all of your belongings and make sure that you take your key with you. To turn the scooter on for most scooters, there are 4 simple steps to remember. The first thing you want to do is kick the kickstand back. Number 2 is turn the key from off to on. Number 3 is hold on to the brake. And number 4 is push the ignition button. So when you hear the motor running, that means that your scooter is on and ready to drive. Now, if you want to turn the scooter off, all you have to do is simply push the kickstand down for most scooters, and then turn the key from on to off, pull it out, and your scooter is off. So now that you rented a scooter and know the basic controls, let's go ahead and learn how to ride the thing. Before you ride your scooter on the road, remember to wear a helmet. Make sure it fits snug on your head and that it's securely fastened so it's not too loose. I recommend wearing a full face coverage helmet with a shield for optimal safety. Start off by slowly giving your scooter some gas and move a bit forward to see how powerful it is. If you want, you can have your feet on the ground to guide it. You want to repeat this until you're comfortable with the power and the brakes. Next, practice driving in a straight line. Roads can be very narrow, so it's good to practice to learn how to drive as straight as possible. And now for turning. The goal here is to take up as little space as possible and avoid wide turns. For turning while standing still, look at the point where you want to end up and turn the steering wheel that direction. Give it some gas and practice leaning towards the direction you want to turn and use your feet to guide you. Next, practice your balance while driving. To do this, go straight as slow as possible without having your feet touch the ground. Practicing your balance will help you a lot when you're slowing down while driving in traffic. In Bali, Indonesia, the left lever controls the rear brake and the right lever controls the front brake. The right brake has more power than the left brake. To practice testing out your left brake, drive straight forward and pull on the left brake as hard as you can. As you can see, it doesn't have that much power. Now try out the right brake and see how hard the stops are. Repeat this to get a feel for an emergency stop situation. For reference, I like to call the left brake the soft brake and the right brake the hard brake. Now, let's see what driving a scooter is like in traffic. I'm driving in Bali, Indonesia, where you can encounter animals like dogs, monkeys, chickens, and horses. Let's start off at the infamous shortcut in Canggu, Bali. This shortcut is notorious for all the accidents that happen here. The road is very narrow, so scooters and cars fall into these rice fields all the time when they're passing other people up. Let's practice being a good example here by not being one of them. Always be on the lookout and drive carefully, especially on bumpy roads. Avoid driving on big bumps and be on the lookout for big holes on the ground like this one over here and this one here. Take it easy when you're making a turn and stick to driving on the far left-hand side. Don't worry about being too slow at first, that's normal. Just make sure you drive on the far left side so you can let other people pass you on the right. When roads are narrow like this, people will get fairly close when they pass on the right side, so watch out for that. And here are the infamous rice fields that cars and scooters fall into all the time. The soil is nice and soft, but still, don't get too close to the edge and fall into the dirt. When you're about to hit an intersection, make sure you proceed through it carefully. Be prepared to brake to avoid any collision from oncoming traffic, like this, for example. Also, if you ever need to reverse, keep in mind that there is no reverse gear on a scooter, so you have to use your feet to reverse. And now, let's see what it's like driving in busier traffic on the main road. Most of the time, drivers will honk their horn at you, not to be rude, but to get your attention or notify you of their intention to pass. In Bali, road lines are just guidelines, not boundaries. Stay alert because people will drive on the wrong side of the road to pass others up. Now let's see what it's like to turn in traffic. If you want to turn right, the first thing you want to do is check your right mirror to see behind you and make sure that it's safe to move to the right. Turn your indicator lights on and stop in the middle of the lane and wait for traffic to pass. When it's safe to do so, make your right turn. When turning right in heavy traffic, turn your right signal lights on, drive slowly, and follow the group going the same way as you. People can get really close and try to fill in any gaps, so watch out for that. When turning left, first thing you want to do is turn your left signal lights, then stop on the left corner, check the opposite direction. People on the main road have priority, so they can go first, and when there's enough space, you can proceed to make your left turn. And last but not least, watch out for pedestrians and watch out especially for the lovable kids in Bali. Alright, so in this video we learned how to ride a scooter for the very first time. We went over how to rent one, the basic controls, and what it's like driving in traffic in Bali, Indonesia. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Remember to comment if you have any questions and subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. Thanks so much for watching. Melanie is out.